Hi, this is Dr. Cribs, and I want to give a brief message to parents and talk to them about why I'm doing this and why what I'm doing is so important. If you're not familiar with my experience, I've been teaching in elementary schools in Georgia for 20 years, and I'm a mother. I have two daughters. One is a junior at UGA, and one's a junior in high school. And so some of the opinions I've formed come from a lot of experience in schools and some experience being a mom too. And the thing I want to say is I cannot stress enough, especially for my elementary students, how important it is to keep your brain active over the summer, and reading plays a huge part of it. And I know from being a mom that it's not always easy to get your kids to read. So that is one of the reasons why I chose this format. Um, I've actually spent the last 7 years as an art teacher, but my primary certification is in early childhood education. So I've spent many, many years as a classroom teacher as well. And my dissertation focus was actually on reading instruction and assessment. So I've done a little more reading than the average teacher about early literacy. But at any rate, reading aloud is one way in my mind that's been the easiest to reach reluctant readers. And another good thing about read alouds is that it lets kids be exposed to really good literature that they normally might not be able to read on their own. And that's one important idea about read alouds, is that they should be lifting kids up kind of to the next level or even a couple of levels above where they could read independently. And I want to share a story of one of my successes as a mom in reading. And I will say, flat out, straight up, even though I'm a teacher and my husband's a teacher, our daughters haven't always loved to read, and we've had the struggles too. So this is coming from experience. But with my oldest daughter, who's now at UGA, I read aloud to her until she was 16 years old. And a lot of people think that read alouds are only for little kids, but that's not true at all. Like I said, they can really help lift, especially younger kids, let them see literature that's a little higher than they could read on their own. But I know for my daughter and I think it was actually a really big bonding experience. We still, to this day, talk about some of the books we read, and the deal was she washed dishes at home after dinner. And my deal was that I would read to her for however long it took her to wash dishes, which happened to be a pretty long time because she was kind of slow. And I think that sometimes she got a little bit slower on purpose, but that's fine because we were reading. So I would sit a chair right next to the sink, and while she was washing dishes, I would read aloud. And I would read aloud a little bit from a chapter book each day. So a couple of the things I'm going to try to start doing that, as well as reading some standalone picture books that might be a little bit better for younger kids. But those are good for older kids too, because I want you to realize all the books I'm reading to you are books that are in my personal collection, and I like to read kids' books now and then too. So don't ever feel like you have to only read a certain kind of book. So what I wanted to say is it's really important that you keep your kids reading, and read alouds are a really good way to help struggling readers and to help reach kids who need a little bit of help understanding how awesome reading can be and getting them to want to read better and better. Something to consider is books on tape or CD. I guess we don't have tapes anymore, but I even know at the library you can get a lot of books on CD, so that's a good option for kids as well, especially like for a long car trip. So anyway, I wanted to give you a little bit of background on why I'm doing this. Another personal note on why I kind of chose to do this. I was diagnosed with mono the last week of school, and it's been a tough run for me this spring. It's been one illness after another, and so honestly, when I got that news, I was like, you gotta be kidding me, because a big thing, if you're familiar with it, is fatigue. And one thing about being a school teacher is you look forward to the summer as a time you can kind of run around and do all the things you normally can't. And I'm having to take it easy, and it's a little bit difficult, to say the least. So doing this is a little bit of a way to motivate myself to get up and put on makeup and get excited about getting up every day, even though I may not be able to go outside in the sunny sun you see behind me and run around a whole lot. So thank you for your support, and I would love to hear any feedback. One final thing, parents, I'm sorry, I'm not working from a script or anything. I did have a YouTube channel, as an EES parent coordinator, and I have a few videos that I'm hoping to move to this channel, but I don't know how to do that yet. So in the meanwhile, if you visit the EES Parent Involvement channel, two things that stick out. There's one about how to inspire your child to read that has a lot of good practical advice. There's also a pretty decent one about Common Core math, even though that's not what I'm talking about at all here. But I thought that might be practical for you guys too. So keep watching, and today is going to be the first time I'm going to start trying a little bit different kind of read aloud. So let your kids know about that too.